My name's Conan, and just like you, I went through the same process of applying to medical school. I'm actually still currently interviewing for the 2022 to 2023 cycle, and I'll be finding out in a couple months where I'll be going to medical school this year. Now, I know how daunting and expensive the medical school application process can be, so I kind of just wanted to share my 2 cents on what I learned about financial tips throughout my journey. Personally, for me, my application to medical school was very expensive, and to be exact, it cost me $4,428.25. Now that's a lot. I applied to 30 schools this year, and I applied to 30 primary applications, and I completed 29 secondary applications, which is essentially another step after the primary application. And of those 29 schools, I applied to 26 MB schools and 3 DO schools. On top of the expensive price tag to applying to medical school, you may actually have to pay more. So one of the things to consider is that for interview invitations, especially if it's placed out of state or somewhere that's far, you will have to pay for your own accommodations. So that means that you're not only going to have to pay for flights that go to specific cities or specific states, you're also going to have to find living accommodations, whether this may be through a hotel or Airbnb, and also payment of train or bus or Lyft or Uber. So that's something to consider. Luckily, a majority of my interviews this year was online, so I got to save a lot. However, I still wanted to travel abroad because it's an opportunity to travel before getting into medical school, where essentially I'll be focusing more of my energy on all my academics and I won't be able to travel during that time. To share you my personal experience, I was able to get round-trip tickets to New York, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, and I covered half of my trip to Tokyo, Japan, without adding in additional expenses from my pocket. Now, you might be wondering how I was able to do this. Well, I did this through opening a credit card, and specifically, I opened the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, I'm not sponsored by Chase in any way, but I still think that this has been one of the best financial decisions that I've made throughout applying to medical school during this cycle. The Chase Sapphire Preferred card has a sign-up bonus of 60,000 points, and the 60,000 points is essentially worth $750 in travel. And this sign-up bonus is only received if you spend $4,000 within the first 3 months of opening the card. For me, this was very convenient because $4,000 is the cost of applying to medical school. So the first month that I started applying to medical school, I opened this account. Now, if you're interested in getting this card, I have a link below this video, and I'd appreciate it if you can click on that link because it actually gives me points as well, and it will help you possibly get launched into starting your own credit card with Chase Sapphire Preferred. As a disclaimer, I do want to clarify that I'm not telling you just to get this card, but to kind of consider it. You probably need a credit score of at least 700 to be approved for this card. And in the case you don't want this card or it's something that's murky for you, it's also a good idea just to consider getting any credit card in general because it can overall help you in the long run, whether it be building credit and also relieving that financial stress or burden that you may have from applying to medical school. Now that we've kind of gone over that, I also just want to share kind of the implications of what it's like to be owning your credit card, and also just in general sharing the financial tips that I've learned throughout my journey. First, what I love about this card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred, is that it has a $50 annual hotel credit. So even though there is a $95 annual fee to keep the card, I feel like that majority of the cost is actually subtracted because of the benefits from the card. Technically, it's going to be a $45 annual fee if you get $50 hotel credit per year anyways. So I think that's an awesome point. Second tip I kind of want to share that I'm in general a pretty frugal person, and I think it's really important to use your credit card as a debit card. And what I mean by that is don't use your credit card to buy anything you can purchase. Let's say if you have, a limit of using $1,000 on your credit card. Don't go spending $1,000 just because you want to. You want to make sure to be strategic about that. Make sure not to actually, overspend on your credit card because credit card debt can be a lot. The interest rate on credit cards can be as high as 20% or even higher. So I think for me, use your credit card to only spend the amount that you actually have in your bank account. Third tip from me, and I guess for everyone in general also, is just make sure to keep your payments on time. I think it's really important because if you get behind on your payments, you may have to pay interest on that credit card loan. And also, it's also important to kind of build your credit score as you go into medical school because you may have a possibility of needing to take out a loan, and having a high credit score can actually help with that. Overall, I think the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card is awesome for travel, especially for medical school applicants because there is a $4,000 spending fee in order to activate the bonus, and conveniently that $4,000 spending fee can be spent on the application for medical school. And the bonus that you get, which is 60,000 points, is money that you can spend on travel, whether that be through leisure or whether that be through travel through your interviews. And I really think that's awesome. At the end of the day, I just want to let you know that any credit card is fine. As long as you build your credit, make sure your credit card score is good, you pay your payments on time, because overall it will help you in the long run. And again, if you are considering on getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred Card, I really appreciate if you could use my link below. Thank you very much, and this is my first time today, so let me know if you want any tips in the future, whether it be relating to medical school application, or my pre-med experience in general.